Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Races Driving League for season number 20, round number 4 of the championship. Welcome to the Bahrain International Circuit for the Bahrain Grand Prix. I'm your host, Zach RC, joined as always by my co-commentator, Ben. Ben, welcome into the stream. Welcome back after last week's absence, and from both of us, truthfully. How are we doing tonight?
Yeah, not bad. Looking forward to this one. It's going to be an interesting race.
Bahrain, of course, has served up many exciting Grand Prix for us in the past here in the RDL. I think we're missing one or two drivers for tonight's race. I believe DJ is joining us mid-qualifying. Apologies to those of you who were here last week and obviously we had the chaos going on in terms of the connection issues last week. Hopefully those will be all fixed as DJ joins the session. I can't guarantee anything, but hopefully the gremlins will stay away for tonight. We can get ourselves a good race in, and it's a good circuit, is Bahrain, but I think you have to agree with me on that.
Yeah, 100%. It's really good for overtaking down in turn 1, turn 4. You can often carry so much speed down the back straight that a fight occasionally breaks down into turn 13 as well. And then, of course, the final corner. You know what could happen.
That final corner that sort of operates in two parts, turns 14 and 15, so which is, to my mind, a fact that I'm not sure a lot of people are aware of. But it should be exciting, and obviously, as always, qualifying will also be a blast. Grumio, the driver to beat, obviously after the win, he came to win last week in Japan in the rain. He held a 23-point lead to Pope in second and 25 points to Imri in third. So close quarters in the early stage of the season. It should be exciting to see whether those two in particular can keep pace with Grumio, and we'll see if either one of them perhaps wins tonight. And while we are here, Ben, we've both got to do our predictions. Now, it is currently 1-0 to me because I did say Imri in China when we were last together. So we'll go for those later on in the night before the Grand Prix starts. But, I mean, is there anyone who are going to be particularly back into the well, perhaps, just off the bat?
Imri's gone really well around there, and obviously Grumio's 10-time world champion. For some reason, I think Pope will always be up there.
Well, Grumio won this race last season. Of course, it was a full-length Grand Prix that time around, so it's good so Bahrain back to its usual 29-lap length before our 100% race in Saudi Arabia next week. That'll be quite interesting to see at the very high-speed Jeddah Corniche circuit. It's gonna be exciting as Grumio heads out onto the circuit. So we'll keep an eye on him. And we haven't got Imri out on track just yet. No, we haven't got Pope is out on the circuit, so we'll keep an eye on him. He's on his first lap, he's running the Gulf Williams livery, which is quite nice to see. It's good to see these special liveries coming into use. It's just nice to have a bit of change on the grid visually.
Yeah, absolutely 100%. Can't agree with you more on that one there. I love this Williams Gulf livery. Looks so good from the halo downwards. So yeah.
Very nice. And it's also good to see that we've always got two different drivers, one of them wearing the regular livery and one of them with the special one, just sort of differentiate between the two. So we know Pope is in the Gulf Williams, and that'll mean that Che will likely be in the Oh, no, scrap that. They're both on the Gulf Williams tonight, so there we go then. Change made. I was too used to A-Team and Landlord last season doing the alternate liveries. But Pope goes fastest, 1:27.7 on the board, first time. And Reggie across the line, 1:29.8 for him on the board. Solid starts for both drivers. So the next car to come round is Che. So Che towards the last corner. I saw one of the RBs just cross the line. That is JB going towards turn 1. Still scoreless in season 20, JB. So work to be done there as Che goes second fastest, 1:28.1 on the board. Divine Stag reserving tonight in the Aston Martin. He's on his first lap. His teammate for tonight, that would be DJ, just crossed the line. So Divine Stag subbing in for Websy this week. Aston Martin, sixth place in the Constructors' Championship, 16 points from the first 3 rounds. It's not a bad start, but still a fair few cars in front of them. There's 5 points between them and Mercedes in 4th place, Ben. So the Constructors' Championship looking fairly close in the mid-pack so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still early days to tell where everyone here is. Even there, I'm sure, obviously, like CJ would likely be up and around in the top 10 and saying that the second Aston Martin will be as well. But it's early days. It's very close in that midfield.
Well, DJ and Websy both managed to get 8 points each, so it's even Steven in terms of the two Aston Martin cars to kick things off. I do want to keep an eye on 10th Cannon, who is in the pit lane right now, but let's not forget, Ben, she's had a fantastic start to the season, 20 points from her first 3 rounds, including a number of top 5s in these last couple of Grand Prix. So it's for RB as a whole, compared to last season, where they obviously struggled a fair bit with that lineup. They've come off the mark fantastically, JB and 10th as teammates.
Yeah, I prefer not to speak on the RB.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry, yeah, no, okay, I forgot you were in that lineup. Yes, I remember, sorry.
But yeah, 10th has done fantastic over the past 4 races.
DJ
Wait,
third fastest? Sorry. Oh,
Grumio.
Grumio quickest. 127.4 on the ball for Grumio there. Solid start and a few tenths up on Pope, but I think the true measure will be seeing what Imri does in that kick Sauber, because he's been the measure for Grumio in qualifying for at least the last half season or so. So it'll be good to see how he gets on. Honestly, between the two of them, Ben, in terms of pole, I don't like to predictions in qualifying because it can change on its head, but it could truthfully go either way. As one of the Astons just went around there. Divine Stag, I think, has stopped off. But yeah, I think Imri will have just as much a shout for pole position later on as Grumio does.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, I was watching Curtis through turn 3, lost the bit, but went for a little half spin, but nothing wrong with that. It was just a little up.
Let's see if we can come back from that later on in this session. Roger going wide there out of turn 13. Number of places where drivers can make mistakes. Obviously, as you and I were saying before we got started, Ben, you said about turn 7 in particular, like that curb there, not a nice place to be. Same thing, I think, sort of around turns 9 and 10, easy to lock up there, easy to go wide. I've done it many times before in both my videos and off camera as well. So keep an eye out for that. So we'll see Imri take turn 7 now, and we see. I mean, he sort of uses a bit of curb on the entry, but eases off it as much as he can to avoid carrying too much speed into it. But of course, this is one of those tracks that got rescanned for this game in particular. So there's been adjustments made, but I've seen a lot of drivers talk as well about I believe it's an invisible bump at the exit of turn 4 going into turn 5. So I have to keep an eye out for drivers trying to avoid that as well. So definitely a number of nuances on this circuit to keep an eye out for.
There's a few little glitches here and there that you want at turn 7. If you go too much on the curb on the exit, it'll just send you airborne, along with turn 10, the hairpin, downhill left-hander.
Not nice place to be in particular. I think back to a few years ago where turn 12 was was another sort of danger point. That very fast right hand. You go on the curb too much there. You take too much curb, it spins you out. It doesn't do that as much now thanks to the rescan. But I mean, it's always, for me personally, it's always been a thing on recent F1 games. Back when Bahrain was the first round, as Imri goes fastest, 127.6. So still off Grumio a little bit. But for me, on a new F1 game, the first thing will be in the first race be to check that curb and take it with as much curb as I can and see if I spun out. And it went back and forth, truthfully, so we never really know in that sense.
Yeah, it was a bit out of fun there a few times, weren't I? I think I made spun there once in audio. I can't remember. Just on the side note for me, but that lap time we're on a set of medium tyres. So to be something off a drift of Grumio on a set of softs, it's not that bad of a lap.
Worked. I mean, he's okay. I got at the first session. Sorry, I said I had to double check something on the. So in Pope's retired as well. So top 2 of the top 3 have called it quits for this first session. And we'll see. I mean, obviously we're gonna lose 4 at the end of the session. One of them being Rydog, who I believe is serving some sort of quality ban. I could be wrong though, because obviously I didn't see last week's race. But Rydog out, so we're losing 3 more drivers come the end of the session.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just trying to keep an eye on those who are around the danger. Interestingly enough, Dan is only 10th.
Dan in the Mercedes, yeah. I mean, based on that first lap, I mean, he'll get into Q2, but off the pace of what he's usually do. So I have to see if he can get on going again.
Yeah, normally Dan's over in the top 5 every single race, so maybe it's just trying to find his groove, find his rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that banker down, so one to keep an eye on for over the course of the session. Obviously, the main thing there is the fact that, like I say, he's in the top 10, and he needs to be top 15 to get himself into Q2. So he should be all okay later on in the session. But we'll see here if anyone can go faster than him. We've got Lucky, Red Jet, and Divine Stagger have all set times, but all slower than Dan. And we're waiting on AT, who's rounding the last corner now for the Haas team. We'll see what he can pull out of the bag in this final corner. Charging towards the line, it looked like a 128 if I had to gauge it. Yep, 128.3, but enough for 5th place. Now knocked down to 11th. TJ coming towards the line, I believe that is there. And TJ crossing it goes P6, yep. So now down to P12. So it's getting quite close for Dan, Ben, as we continue on with qualifying. But there's 7.5 minutes left, so plenty of time for him to get out there for another lap. But definitely a concern, I think, early on. I have to agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Daniel will be particularly pleased with that lap. To see him down in P12 behind his teammate as well, Obsessed, who has gone pretty well lately. A bit of an interesting place to be if I was Dan. But Cott's also looking good at the moment, so we'll see where Cott ends up.
Cott in the Alpine, and just, I mean, he's got, he's running reserve tonight, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, running reserve for Alpine in place of, that should be... I'm losing one. So no, both Alpines are here. Sorry, I'm losing my marbles completely here. Both Lucky and Cott are in as reserves for tonight's race. Now the PJ or Ethan are in the running this evening. I am sort of getting back with it after sort of missing the majority of last week's race. But that is what's going on. So Alpine won't be scoring points, and that is that'll be tough because Alpine are already in 9th place in the constructors, 7 points scored. Every team has scored points this season. As again, Ferrari find themselves sort of towards the foot of the table, but Alpine just 3 points in front of them. There's another 3 for them to McLaren. It's another 1 to Red Bull. So so everyone from 4th down to last place is still very, very close to each other. So that'll be something to keep an eye out for as the season rages on. But obviously, we've already said our bit about the about how close the mid pack is this campaign. So Cott there in P6. So it's still a solid lap, 1 minute 28.328. So clearly he's lost none of that pace that took him to his formal race victories back in the RDL of a few years ago. And as of right now, we've only got one car set a time that's currently sitting in the bottom 4, and that is Red J, because Divine Stack just crossed the line to go 129.6. I'd say you're looking at probably a low 128, I think, to get yourself into Q3 later on tonight. But obviously that could always change, as we always see Q2 could be a bit more intense in terms of changing tyres and going for different runs and different sets. So it'll be interesting, but I think, but obviously Ben, I'm a bit biased against myself, but I think that's probably a fair assessment. But mid to low 28 to get you into Q3 later on.
Yeah, what we may start to notice as well is that although obviously Guma's currently sitting around the mid 27, we can probably expect him to dip into 26s come Q3. Those 4 drivers all inside the 23. AT, Cott, TJ, and Cook.
It's remarkable.
All inside that 128.3.
And just over a 10th back to DJ as TJ calls it quits. So one of those 4 not going for another lap. JB's up in the first sector. He's up by 600ths. That was going into turn 5. He's now going towards turn 9 now. So we'll keep an eye out as to what he's got behind the wheel in this part of qualifying. He's in P11, so as of right now is good. 10th Cannon, I'm not sure if he's actually left the pit lane yet. Either she hasn't set a lap or I've missed her coming out onto the circuit. But 10th Cannon will need to get herself moving and actually put a lap in these closing laps, because I mean, I feel like I feel like in terms of what can be done for sort of late laps, I feel like the fighting your way into Q2 from the one run is Alvar's thing, and Alvar is not with us tonight. He's the one car we're missing, that McLaren that's not on the grid. So just Red J, and so McLaren also can't score any points tonight because Alvar nor Ericsson are here. So those 2 teams are in a bit of trouble in terms of points. But as JB comes towards the line now, it looks like a 128 for JB, 128.6. Enough for 11th place, up by 4/10. Big improvements there. Dan's now in P13, but he's coming towards the line, Ben. So we'll see what lap he puts in. It's going to be a 128.5. Only enough for P11, which will be, it'll be enough for Q2, but he'll need to pick it up if he wants to place in Q3, because that is still quite close.
Yeah, so remember back to last season, Dan actually went up pretty well around here. He got some wind damage early on, but then I think he had a few connection issues. So I don't know what's actually going on with them. This is unsettling times for the Mercedes Giants there.
Imrich has gone fast there, Ben. So we've seen another change at the top. It's a 126.9. So Ben, you were completely right. These guys breaking into the high 26s very early. I think a lot earlier than both you and I would have expected. But he retires. It's the top 4 all out. I say that top 4 are probably the ones to keep an eye on for over the course of the session, despite the fact that they are separated by 1.2 seconds. Imri's half a second up on Grumio, so all of a sudden things change quite dramatically here, but we'll have to see where Grumio's true pace lies later on in the session, because he always pulls one out of the bag towards the end, short of a mistake on his final lap. But it'll be interesting, because I think that quality battle rages on, and you never really know who edges it. Whether Pope can get involved, not too sure, because Pope is often there contending against Q3, but may have something go wrong on his last run, or I think his run plan different to a number of other drivers in a few cases. So we'll keep an eye out for those three. And obviously, Che, you can never count him out in terms of qualifying. But it'll be interesting, to say the least, as we get towards the last few moments. And we'll see in a few minutes' time who gets knocked out as 10th Cannon comes through to start her lap.
Yes, 10th is actually. This is 10th's first lap in qualifying, so she didn't have a lap invalidated or anything like that. But in towards turn 1, looks very good on the braking from that RB. Dan is interestingly enough retired, so while we may be safe for that lap, he's going to be cutting it a bit.
Cutting it close. Yeah, no, I agree with you, but we'll have to see what he does. I mean, JB's also retiring it. I mean, we could see late improvements. There are a number of cars below those guys who could find a way through. 10th, 28.3 in the first sector. Whether she gets herself up into to Q2's place despite her teammate, that could, well, not despite, but just to in over her teammate. And that will knock JB down to P13 at minimum if 10th can get in. I just have to see here because I mean, Obsessed, he's also on a lap and he's safe in there for now, but he is 1.2 seconds down. Whether he'll back off and carry on for one last run, we'll have to wait and see. But he is. I mean, he's got 60% battery, so we're still looking at a fair bit of ERS management over the course of what will likely be his last lap. Should he take another one? Lucky Lambert there, P14, down by half a tenth in the first sector, so changes to be made. And 10th in the last sector now. So we'll see, Ben, whether she can get herself in over her teammate into the top 15 with a minute to go.
Yeah, it's looked a really good lap so far from 10th. 2 rounds, final corner. Now up to line, will it be 28? Yeah, it'll be 22.
28-2. So now for P5 on the board there. Another good start to an evening for 10th Cannon and the RB. And that'll move JB down to P13. And that'll put Lucky Lambert on the brink here. On what I believe it will be his final lap. He's pushing it, but he needs to improve in that second sector, give himself more of a shout. He's up by a tenth and a half, and as it stands right now, he's almost up by half a second over Divine Stag. So Divine Stag on his last lap, and Red J also starting his last lap. So those two were wanting themselves to get in, and they'll need to find about 6 or 7 tenths each to give themselves a solid start. It's Divine Stag on the grass there at turn 1, and I dare say he may have spun out, Ben.
Yeah, must have done. Lucky Lambert to line 29-1.
That's enough for P15 still. He maintains that spot. Retires it now. We're near the checkered flag. There is the checkered flag. It's up. Obsessed would need both Divine Stag and Red J to beat him to go out. And that can't happen because Divine Stag at this point is out of qualifying. Yep, 20 seconds down. No chance there. Red J's invalidated. So that will take away all the tension from our first part of the session, and that means that Obsessed is going through, both Divine Stag and Red J going out. Courtney Goblin didn't get a lap in the end, and Radog also didn't get obviously retired early on. So both Ferraris, again, the bottom 2 spots, tough start to the evening for them. We'll see if they can recover it later on, but Red J and Divine Stag, we'll see them again in the race later on. But for now, though, Imri over Grumio, Pope, Che, and 10th, your top 5 at the end of a very exciting first qualifying session. Any thoughts, Ben? Are we seeing the most from Grumio that we can see, or is he still got more on the tank? Do you reckon?
Yeah, it's probably taking it more of on a Monday night stroll. To be fair, tends to drift from Imri. I don't think that's the representative lap time from Grumio. That he's got more locker.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, we said that. We'd be looking in terms of the 120. He said 126s later on in the session, but we hit that hit high 26s quite early. So I have to wait and see exactly how much time the top times drop by. But Imri fastest by almost 6 tenths to Grumio. Pope third, Che fourth, 10th Cannon in P5. Then it's AT, Cott, Curtis, TJ, and HP Cook rounds at your top 10. DJ, Dan, JB, Obsessed, and Lucky Lambert all go through. And by half a second, Divine Stag goes out. Red J out by almost 3 seconds to P1. Connie and Rad Dog both don't set lap times, so those two go out as well. But it should set us up for a very exciting Q2 in a matter of moments. Welcome back in then for Q2 here under the lights in Bahrain. It should be an exciting session as the top 15 drivers from Q1 will get whittled down to 10 in 15 minutes time. Ben, I mean, obviously after things looked to be quite close in the first part of qualifying until Imri set that stonker of a lap to go fastest by half a second. But as you say, Grumio, I think we've got more on the tank. Pope and Shea should be contending as well. Lieutenant Cannon could be the dark horse. Get us through to Q3 again. It's gonna be tense, and obviously we'll see in terms of tyre strategy who goes perhaps with a worn set first and with their fresher ones later on. So it should be exciting.
Yeah, it's always a bit of a interesting session Q2. It's very tight towards the bottom end, but then also the top end gap's starting to shrink a little bit here and there. Expect Rumor to be a lot closer to Imre, and probably I'd also say Pope and Shea. I think they're going to reel in that gap.
Obviously, our concern was also with Dan during Q1. I had to keep an eye on him to see if he has the speed to get himself into the last part of qualifying, because he was there just outside of the top 10 in P12. So work to be done perhaps to get him into the last part of the session. Obviously, a driver who's been strong here in previous seasons, save for the disqualification after the connection issues in last season's race, as we mentioned briefly during Q1. Do you reckon he's hit his ceiling for tonight, or can he get himself higher up the grid and into a Q3 slot?
I certainly think he's more than capable of getting himself into Q3. It's just whether he can pull that time out of the bag that he needs. Only time will tell.
We'll have to keep an eye on him over the course of this session as the first few cars coming through. Pope is through, first car to go for a lap. He's got the other Aston Martin of DJ for company right behind him. And then here comes, next car through will be Imri in the Sauber. There's his teammate HP Cook. I haven't seen much of HP Cook so far in the session, but obviously got himself cleanly into Q2. Yet to score a point. One of the 4 drivers yet to put a point on the board this season in terms of full-time drivers. HP Cook, PJ, JB, and Rydog. 3 of those 4 guys are in this race tonight, so we'll see whether any of them can register that first point on the board. 2 of those 3 are here in Q2. Rydog obviously starting dead last for this one, but we'll see with the right permutations if we can work us up the order. But I mean, do you think, Bennett, any of those three drivers can get their first points tonight? I think it's eluded HP Cook quite well.
Yeah. I think they're all capable of getting points. Radog's obviously got the disadvantage starting dead last, but I'm saying that a couple of those drivers at least maybe able to score points tonight.
Should be interesting to watch, and we'll keep an eye obviously in the fight for pole position and the race obviously for the Drivers' Championship, because Grumio has built out a little bit of a lead here. He had a bigger lead last season, truthfully, because he came into this Grand Prix having won all of the first 3 races. So he's taken 2 from 3 this time around. Obviously finished second in China. So it's been a near perfect start for Grumio regardless. Obviously Imri still fighting back after the crash in Australia a couple of weeks ago. Pope has been there and thereabouts, keeping pace those 2 as he goes fastest here, 1:27.6 on the board. So solid run to start things off, and we should see DJ coming behind him. Yes, we will. 1:28.8 for DJ, so 1.2 seconds covering those 2 to start us off. Imri there fastest, 1:27.3, and I think he's using his old set tyres, because that's about 4.5 tenths slower than his Q1 lap. So we'll see how much he punishes his second set later on in the session. Next car to the line, I believe, is Dan. Dan's gone to P5, 1:29.057. Again, probably using that old set, so not his best lap yet, but a banker is on the board there for him. The time's coming through quite fast here. Both Curtis and Lucky Lambert also to the line, 1:27.8 and 1:28.6 for those guys. That puts DJ down to P5. 80 is there on his out lap. Grumio coming towards the line. Grumio P2, and it's quite close there between those 2. 1:27.424, about the same pace that Grumio had during the first session of qualifying. So these 2, let's go around to each other once again, Grumio and Imri. But we'll see how it looks when they get fresh tyres on.
Yeah, it's always a bit of a... This first part of Q2 is always a bit of an interesting one nonetheless. You don't know who is on worn tyres. You can always have the assumption that for like say Grumio and Imre that will be on worn tyres, and along with Pope, who pretty much matched his best lap in Q1, will be on worn tyres. So that is a bit fired from JB.
So JB can do is going
10.
Making his way down towards 11 now. One of the Alpines in front of him. I believe that's Lucky Lambert. Yep, moving out of the way. Nice and easy. Oh, no, that can be caught. No, that is Lucky. I was right. JB threw up towards turn 12. We'll see how much Kirby takes to right on board with the RB. He takes a fair bit of it, and I think that's one of the places, again, as I said in Q1, where the rescan has helped the drivability of the Bahrain circuit massively. So he invalidates there, wide at the exit at turn 13, and has that deleted. And that'll be a tough start to qualifying for RB as a whole, as 10th round's turned 10 herself. So we'll keep an eye on her for the moment and see where she can get herself to. And yeah, I mean, as I said, good start for RB so far in terms of, as a team. JB still looking for those first points. He's still obviously learning on his wheel and pedals that he started using late last season, and is still getting to grips with those. It's only this only be his 5th or 6th race to actually using those. So it'll be interesting to see if he can adapt any further tonight.
Yeah, it will be. Time will play along into his hands. Today to go 6th fastest overall, but it does take time to get used to the wheel. It takes weeks, if not months. I've tried it and just never really got the hang of it. Never had the motivation to, and I'm still setting on control of me. So we'll see what happens. Lucky Lambert also goes 7th fastest. That's a pretty good lap from Lucky Lambert.
And 10th there, just in behind in P8, 128.706. So very close to those guys. Just over half a tenth covering them. But 10th again, up in the top 10. And Dan is the last car currently going through, but those bottom 5 yet set lap times of their own. And JB into the pit lane, so he's called the end of his first run. Che just started his first lap, so we'll see what Che can do. He was also sort of, I mean, he was there in P4, but was off the pace of the top 3, I'd say, at best. So we'll see whether he can try and get a bit more time out of the bag. As but in behind him is the Aston Martin of DJ, who is going again. He sits in P9 right now, 128.8 on the board for him, as Grumio retires. So, okay. I'm wondering then, Grumio's done 1 lap in each session so far, Ben. So I'm thinking, is he perhaps saving fresh sets of tyres for Q3? Because that's also a viable tactic to go for later on, to go all out in Q3 where it counts for Grumio, who's almost guaranteed to make Q3 every week.
Yeah, the only thing with, say, for example, if he has like 3 tyres that haven't been used, is time, really. Within, I believe it's is it 12 minutes?
12 minutes, yes.
Yeah, 12 minutes Q3. He's going a bit fine on time. He has to be in and out of the garage literally all the time.
Although saying that,
unless he's...
Sorry, I thought you finished. Go on.
Unless he's thinking about saving the set of tyres for the race. Could he be planning a 2-stop maybe?
Perhaps. I mean that tactic is always there. I mean I've had to run 2 stops in Carimo myself in the past this circuit, so that option could be on the table for him. But I think most likely, I doubt he'll use all 3 of the sets he's got left. If he's got 3 sets, I doubt he'll use all 3 of them in the final session, because I mean, you realistically only got time for sort of 2 runs, as we see with everyone each week in terms of Q3 running. So we'll keep an eye out for exactly what he plans to do. But it'll be interesting to get a fair use to the soft tyre over the course of the race. I mean, tyre temperatures obviously play into it a fair bit on circuits such as this, a circuit where it can be quite punishing on the rears. This sort of track, so like I say, interest is high going into this one, and we'll see in terms of tyre strategy what everyone does. As Curtis retires from P5, 127.843 on the board for him, so he's one of those cars in the 127s. So pace is there for Curtis. I mean, he's still 7 points from this in these first 2 races. He's tied with Ethan from P11 in the World Championship as it stands right now. Obviously, it's a tie at 1 point in front of him for Alvar, Websy, and DJ. They've all got 8 points each. So that's kind of the spot best of the rest as of right now. Those are the last guys, the first guys in single digits as of right now. All the top 7 have reached double digits in terms of points this season. Dan's it. Sorry,
yeah.
Go on.
No, it's fine.
I mean, Dan's down there in P14, Ben. I mean, he's on a lap now, but if this lap gets deleted, that could be a concern for him, because I'm guessing he's on his fresh set. I'm worried in terms of pace for Dan at least in this session.
Yeah, same me.
I mean, this is a guy that used to be up here competing at the top end, so we'll see. Obviously, if he can get himself into Q3 and then just go full throw the kitchen sink at it, but you never know. Dan is in trouble right now. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, in trouble now. Yeah, he is. I love it. That's turn of thought. I'd like to touch on one thing. Obviously, DJ is 6th, but Curtis has gone a bit under the radar. His Imri sits at 26.7, fastest overall, 7/10 clear of Grumio.
And that's on the fresh set, so we'll keep an eye out in Q3 as to what these guys can really do when they open it up. Dan towards the line now, big improvements. Goes P5, 1.2, and all of a sudden all the tension is lifted off of Dan's shoulders for a little bit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, hopefully Cookie's up by a 10th. Just trying to have a look. It looks like TJ's back tower is that.
We'll see.
Everybody's either in the pits or just barely improving.
Not a lot going on.
Done.
Hayden Cook towards the line here. Goes P9. Improves by just under 3/10. So, still there. And TJ, as you said, Ben, he's probably possibly backed off and he's saving battery. Yes, so he's going again on this same set of tyres. JB on his outlap. He's the one car hasn't set a lap time yet. Obviously, had his lap deleted at turn 13 a few minutes ago. 10th and P14. So, again, she needs to get her skates on and get another time in too. Obsessed is there in the bottom 5. AT as well, but he's on circuit for an outlap, as is Lucky Lambert, just gone out there as well. So, the bottom 5 are starting to get a bit more antsy now. And we'll see whether Obsessed and 10th join them later on.
Yeah, 10th is saying they got pace. She showed it in Q1. Yeah, 10th showed it in Q1. That is, I'm guessing that's on a set of used tyres as well.
I'd have to imagine so, yes. We'll see what she can do with fresh.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what that time she can find. Typically, from used to new, it's about half a second here and there. So, it's half a second enough. It's right on the cusp.
It'll be interesting. Around goes JB. Last corner, he's around, but has avoided the barrier. Just. That will knock out a lot of momentum for his runs towards turn 1. So, let's get up to speed again as quick as he can. But tough start to the lap.
Yeah, he's already starting this lap on a back foot and he's actually bored this lap as a result of that spin. So the tyres are flat spotted now, but maybe okay. Maybe at a disadvantage already for his last lap.
I mean, so he's got 3 minutes, so he's got time. I think most likely he's not using battery, so I think he may just bring it around and go again, so getting back into a normal operating window, and then push it for one last attempt. But it's not looking good for him right now. It's Dan retires from P5, so only only got 9 more cars who can get with a shout to get themselves into Q3 from here. 4 of them are already in there. The bottom 5 still fighting. We've got a number of cars who could really get themselves up the order with a good lap on this last run. I mean, TJ's there. I mean, TJ's hanging on right now by about a 10.5 to Lucky Land. But AT was obviously in the top 10 earlier on. He's improving by just under 2/10 right now. Obsessed on a lap. 10th is on those fresh tyres. JB will be going for a lap as well. We know he can put it out when he needs to, but on that wheel could be a bit more of a challenge for him. It'll be it's going to be a 10 cents a session. It could be. It'd surprise me if all 4 of the guys that are still in the top 10 are still active in the session. It'd be surprised me if they all stay where they are in terms of maintain. I feel like we're going to see at least one of them drop off.
Yeah, I think there may be a bit of track evolution to counter into it as well. Looks like AT's going on a good lap. Let's see, about 10th and Obsessed.
Obsessed towards turn 1. 10th going into turn 4 now. AT was up by half a second. 10th has managed to find a 10th so far. So 1/10 for 10th. So we'll keep an eye on her. But AT towards the line now. Goes into P7. That'll put TJ in the bottom 5. But TJ's also on a lap here. In fact, all of those guys who were in the top 10 now from 8th to 11th, all on outlaps. So they're going for these last runs to give themselves a good shout here in the closing moments. As Lucky Lambert going again as well. JB going into turn 4 and towards 5 as we speak. End of the first sector this time on a clean run. Up by 3.7 seconds. But obviously that is based against his old lap 1:39.7 from the spin last time round. So we'll get a... I mean, we don't really get an impression of what his time will be when he crosses the line. So it'll be interesting. As 10th is up by 1/4 of a second. It's looking quite close, Ben. And as I say, I think me saying that we're going to see at least one of those 4 cars drop out is going to be accurate.
Yeah, it will be. It's 10th round's the final corner now. D-Lee should do with another 10 here and there, but we'll see up to the line. What will it be?
Up towards the flag. P10. Oh, it's close. 30 seconds.
Relying on who's behind.
It's going to be tight. HB Cook is on outlap now. He's got to make it to the line in under 25 seconds to get himself onto one last lap. I think he should make it, but it's going to be close for him, if I'm being truthful. And he's backing off a little bit. I wouldn't advise doing that, HB Cook. You've got plenty of road in front of you. He'll make it for one last lap. He'll be the last driver going onto a lap as JB crosses the line. Stays P15, so JB is out. HB Cook getting a tow for JB going towards turn 1. I've just getting him off the circuit. I think he's thrown the lap away, so it looks like he's also out. So 2 of those cars we've lost. Lucky Lambert down by 3/10. TJ, not quite sure what he's doing right now. He's up by almost 2. HB Cook is still looking for that last lap. JB's out, guaranteed. 10th is still there, but if HB Cook can improve enough, then that will put her back into the bottom 5 again after all that work on that lap. And HB Cook up by almost 10th and a half as
10th is out.
TJP9, 10th is out. Oh, no, to be sorry, 10th is out. You're right. Right, so that lucky he's out too. So it's down to HB Cook now to see if he can knock Cott out. Cott's on a lap still. Up to P9, so that puts TJ at risk now.
Going it fine.
It's going to be close.
May well be alright.
HB Cook improved by 1/10 and a half in that first sector. It'll come down to how much he improves in this second one to really get an idea as to where he'll be as he comes through turn 12. Up by almost 1/4 of a second now. And that will be what he needs at this point to knock TJ out. Cott safe, DJ and AT are both safe. It's down to what TJ and Cook do in this final corner. Through 14 and now 15, up towards the line. DJ doesn't improve, stays where he is, but HB Cook towards the line. P9. And TJ goes out.
Nice.
That was close. That was all.
That was very close indeed.
He could cut them with a kitchen spoon. That makes no sense. Imri fastest by 6/10, almost 7/10 to Grumio this time. So even further in front this time. Che, Pope, Dan, Curtis, AT, DJ, HB Cook, and Cott will all go through. And by, that is 22 thousandths, TJ goes out. 10th, Lucky, Obsessed, and JB join them in the bottom 5. And Q3 will commence in a matter of moments. So Q3 about to get underway then. The last 12 minutes to determine who will take pole position for the Bahrain Grand Prix of season number 20 here in the Races Driving League. Grumio is our main focus here. I mean, obviously, the ongoing fight will be with him and Imri for pole position, but Grumio's has got at least 1 or 2 sets of good tyres that he hasn't used yet, because he's only done 1 lap in each qualifying session, Ben. Are we going to see Grumio dominance? We've seen it in the past. Will it be same again?
We will certainly find out. I'm just going to leave it at that. Imri looks really good tonight, though, so we'll be them too. Up again, fighting for that pole position.
As they go the round with each other in qualifying once again here, looking for that coveted pole position, that race towards the first corner, as they have done several times already this season. It's been Imri winning those races to turn 1, so it'll be interesting with a long run to that first corner as to who comes out on top this time round. And obviously, it's a very tight first corner too. Down to that braking zone, it'll be a case of who's got the bottle to get themselves down to turn 1 quick enough, and who's got the nerve to go latest on the brakes. It'll come down to that race off the line. But for now, though, we have got to ensure that both of them make the front row for that to happen. We could see another dark horse later on. In terms of the teams that got both their cars into Q3 here, so Haas, Sauber, and Williams with all their cars in. Mercedes, Aston, Red Bull, and Alpine bring just 1 car to the party each. So, again, as always, solid representation from the majority of teams here in the top 10. 7 different teams, all bringing 1 car this last part of qualifying.
Yeah, it shakes up the constructors here and there as well. But it's not about where you start; it's about where you finish.
Without doubt, and we'll see obviously in about an hour or so. After 29 laps of action, where everyone sits at the end of the race, and obviously how that will affect the race for the championship. But Grumio there into turn number 11. Imri is on his first lap though, so we'll keep an eye on him as well. Curtis also on a first lap, as is Pope. Those guys all out. Imri was out there fastest, so he's going on to the lap first. End of the first sector for him, 27.9. We've seen him putting in high 26s all evening here, so it's going to be, we're expecting that and perhaps a bit more from Imri, given that it is Q3 and the pressure is now on. with Grumio on those fresh sets, we'll get a real sense as to whereabouts he stands now he's going all push in Q3. We've seen him turn things up considerably in the past when Q3 rolls around. But it's under 10 minutes to go and still hunting those first lap times in session. Just waiting for Dan to get back out on the circuit as he's making his way towards the pit exit now. Imre into turn 12. And it's looking, Ben, like a good start to this this first lap as he goes 1 minute 4.9 in the second sector. We'll keep an eye on him for the rest of the lap here.
That's a quick second sector from Imre, that.
Turn 14, last few corners then for Imre as he heads through 15 now as well and charging up towards the line to get that first benchmark set down. The first marker is placed and the gauntlet is thrown down at 126.4 for Imre, 126.9 for Pope. That is the gap we are looking at here. Actually, no, sorry, no, I'm getting confused. That's half a second. I'm getting myself mixed up. 127.5 to Curtis, but still, I mean, half a second between those two drivers is still awfully large gap as Grumio is going through turn 11 now. So we'll see where he slots in to order that. Chains P4 127.8. That's a big gap, almost a second and a half in play there. DJ last corner. We'll see where he puts himself.
Yeah, just pushing Grumio over lap time. I think he's a couple tenths down on Imre through the second sector at least. At
least 2, I'd say there. 1 minute 5.1 Grumio's second sector split. And final corner now for the reigning champion as he heads towards the line. And that first lap will go down as a 126.733. So still down by a fair bit. But let's not forget, Grumio's got another fresh set of tyres minimum, thanks to saving them during Q2. And I know, Ben, I know I haven't stopped to remind you of that fact, but that fact is still there. So we'll keep an eye out for what he can do later on.
Yeah, we'll see. As it stands at the moment, it's looking at Imre provisional pole. 18 car is currently on the lap. Says his car is actually validated. Dan's on his run down towards turn 4 now.
Obviously, Dan was one we thought was going to struggle a little bit over the course of this qualifying session, but has got himself into Q3, and we'll see where he slots himself in. Imre there, exactly a quarter of a second in front of Grumio there, so it's looking quite far in front in there. As you saw, Dan got a bit wide there through through the exit at turn 7. I mean, not so much. I mean, quite similar to what we said earlier about turn 7 being a danger point, but for a different reason there. I think his fans were going, "Why a bit too much throttle carried in there?" But it's that curb that's definitely. We'll keep an eye out on that curb, see if anyone actually takes too much of it tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll watch it throughout the race. It looks like 18 may get a slight slipstream from the other Haas of Grumio.
Yes, teammate play is in there for us, Ben, as they head down towards turn number 14. Slight bit of a toe, and Grumio moves out of the way, but takes out all the braking bollards. I think wrong way to go, Grumio, truthfully. You'd be better off going to the right and not doing that, because that could be a concern for everyone later on. But 18 to P6 there, but still a second and a half off of Imre's time. That's a way back.
Yeah, it's a bit. I think Dan's on the U set of tyres.
U set.
Okay, 27s in Q2. It's 28.0.
Yes, I mean, still sort of stagnating pace-wise. We'll have to see whether he puts on a fresh set for the last runs in a matter of minutes' time. I mean, I can't imagine it being too long. I mean, majority of cars are in the pit lane here, so AT still on circuit, and Cott is on circuit now. He's going up towards turn 12 as it stands. To head into... Oh, he's backing off it, though. Is he out of fuel?
Yeah. No.
No, he's okay. Right, well, that was concerning. I thought for a second he was running out, but pace not quite there for Cotton straight line speed for a second, but he's recovered it and get himself probably back to the pit lane, I should think, to go again. As he goes through the last corner, yep, into the pit lane, and that'll be everyone except for Dan and AT still on circuit, but those two both nearing the end of the second sector now, so we should see them both back in. 5 minutes to go, and one more run, I think, minimum for everyone here in play. So we'll get an eye, we'll get a better glimpse as to who's got the speed in these closing moments, or these closing minutes of qualifying. I think, Ben, it's fair to say that our money is possibly on Imre for pole. I mean, you see, you've got a class as a favourite regardless of what Grumio does. He's been so dominant in terms of qualifying this evening.
Yeah. So it's looking like Imre for pole position. Che is behind the Red Bull Curtis, so it's very unexpected from Curtis. He could well be up in the first couple rows of the grid.
I mean, he's currently set himself on row 2, which is not a bad place to be at all, especially if the leaders collide at the first corner, which has happened before. Not here, but it's happened previously, and we'll see if Curtis is going to take advantage of any potential scuffle in front of him, but Pope will obviously want to try and get involved as well. Curtis will have the inside line going towards the first corner, should he stay where he is right now. I mean, Imri and Grumio, that fight, the leader will have to sweep. The pole sitter starts on the left, so the leader will have to sweep in at the first corner and try and get themselves clear of the car in second, which will be interesting to watch going towards that first corner as Grumio heads back out onto the circuit. First car back out there for the final run, and I imagine that Imri will likely follow him. Will the Haas have got a run plan in play? Perhaps have AT going to sort of link up with Grumio later on. That might be interesting to see. We'll see what Haas have their sleeve. And Sauber obviously still looking for pole position themselves. HB Cook there in P8 right now. 128.2 for him. Just 6 thousandths in front of DJ in P9. So it's all close. And we are looking, as I said, I mean, to be fair, I mean, we did say sort of mid to low 28s to get stuff into Q3. And right now it's looking like that. The sort of times that they're setting it slowest now. So improvements have been made big time over the course of the evening.
Yeah, absolutely. We started off at 26.9 in Q1 for the fastest that time. We're down to 26.4. May sound a bit out of question here, but could we see a 25 for pole position?
I don't know. I think that's possibly a bit too far to ask. I don't think even Grumio could pull that out of the bag. I'm going to bring out another phrase that I've been saying the last couple of weeks when it comes to Grumio doing things, is that he's capable of a lot of things, but he's not Jesus. Let's not forget that. And an appropriate time because obviously it is Christmas this week, so we'll extend our season's greetings to everyone watching along here in the RDL chat right now. But 2 minutes to go, and Grumio is one of the 7 cars out on circuit. 2 more of those are joining us as it stands right now. All of them are heading out to the circuit. Imri is going through turn number 8 as it stands. Grumio with the first car through on that last run. And I think AT maybe looking to try and play this because he's just come out of the pit lane here. And we'll see if he lets HB Cook go. Because if he does, then I imagine they'll be in play to try and use those few tenths of a slipstream with a DRS to try and beat Imri. That'll be their key play today, I should think. And we'll see whether they can take advantage of that, and whether they can also help AT a lap later get further up the grid.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if that's why if Grumio went out quite early compared to the rest.
Oh, but he's only up by 12 thousandths in that first sector, so not a lot of time being found. So at this point, I mean,
Wide.
He's going to need those few tenths, Ben, at the minute. As it stands right now, with just over a minute to go, he's not going to catch AT yet. So I think we're going for the same sort of thing here. Or perhaps no, they're doing it now. Never mind. AT is there and waiting for Grumio. So he can give him that toe. Grumio drops his battery off, and then AT backs off. But does AT stay with him? He doesn't stay with him. So perhaps the idea perhaps to move down the main straight for them, not the game plan. So I have to keep an eye out. Imri is going towards turn 4 now. Grumio is up by 2 tenths. It's not enough right now. He needs more than that in this last sector. Yellow flag is out for HB Cook as he pulls the car over to let the 2 Haas cars through. He's on his outlap himself and finds some clean air there. Grumio final corner. It's not looking good for the reigning champion here as he emerges in that last turn and comes towards the line. It's near 126.5. It's improved by almost 2 tenths, but Imri is almost a tenth up himself. So it's looking like Grumio hasn't done enough here. And it looks as though, short of any late challenges from perhaps Pope, Curtis or Che, that Imri will be on pole for this race.
Yeah, it's looking that way. He's up towards the line for DJ. He's at 27.
5 there, yeah, P5
yes, he does.
one.
I was trying to look at the top right hand corner, I've got voice overlay on, so all I saw was my name. I couldn't quite see it, and I looked over on the left, it said 27.599.
I know the feeling from the Xbox days from back in season 12 in this league, so it's been a little while on my end, but I do remember doing it in that way. Che going through the last corner. Checker flag has now fallen. Imri is towards the line. He's up and he's improving 126.3 in the end, and that will likely be the pole time. Imri looking at pole position. Unless Pope can stop him, but I don't think Pope can at this point. Pope into P2. Sorry, into P3, sorry. Maintains P3. And those will be the closest challenges. I mean, Che is almost 7 tenths up, but That will improve enough to try and nab pole, but we'll see if we can get some perhaps into the first 2 rows, perhaps into 4th place there. So the Williams cars sharing row 2. DJ there in P6. His lap's been deleted. AT looking for one last toe of Grumio. Although his lap's been deleted there as well, so AT out of it. And remember those 2 braking bollards are still gone thanks to Grumio hitting them earlier on in the session as HP Cook round to the last corner locks up a little bit there in P10. Alvar's joined us, so we're gonna get a full 20 cars in the race here at the last moment. So 20 cars in the race as HP Cook goes P9 and DJ will go through. Oh, Grumio 5-place grid penalty for a collision with AT.
Oh, Grumio. Why did you do that?
The game may have
so unnecessary.
May have, I mean, I'll hold your horses, man. I think the game may have had a moment there because it doesn't seem like Grumio to just to hit a teammate like that. So that might be the F1 game, and the F1 game. So I mean, regardless though, he's down to that will put him down to P7 for the race start, and that'll move Pope onto the front row.
Worth noting that AT has also got a 5-place grid penalty, so he will start P15.
Things turning around then very quickly for Haas all of a sudden. Imri is on pole and he'll lead Pope and Che to the first corner, and work to be done for Grumio to try and catch Imri, who will need to take advantage of that in order to get himself in with the best chance of victory. We'll have a look at your top 10 here. Imri on pole, Grumio second, but we'll start P7. It's Pope who will join Imri on the run to the first corner. Che in 4th, Dan 5th, Curtis 6th, Cott 7th, DJ, HP Cook and AT who got a penalty as well at the last moment. So he will start from P15 for the start. We shall be back. We'll see if Haas can come back into this Grand Prix. Back to the 3 minutes time for the start of the Grand Prix. Welcome back then to the Bahrain Grand Prix, round 4 of season 20 of the Racers Driving League Championship. And we're looking forward to what should be a very enticing 29 laps around the Bahrain International Circuit tonight. I'm your host, Zach RC, here with Ben as always. And we had a bit of a late change there, Ben, for those of you who just missed the end of qualifying, in terms of those 2 Haas cars. Contact team going into the pit lane, it now puts them both 5 places further down the order and leaves things wide open for Imri and the Williams cars to take advantage, perhaps.
Yeah, it does, yeah. Greenwheel head's got to start 7th, so as Pope alongside 7th turn 1.
We'll have a look here at your full starting grid for the RDL Bahrain Grand Prix of season number 20. It's Alvar on the back row, missed qualifying, but joins us now for the start. He's on hard tyres, one 2 cars on the hard tyres. Radok starting on soft, so we are looking, I think, at 2-stop in play for a number of cars here tonight. He starts in P19 for Ferrari. Courtney Golden, his teammate, didn't get a lap in either. He starts from P18. Those guys looking for their first points. Well, sorry, Radok looking for his first points of the campaign. Red J in P17, soft tyres for him as well, so both Rydog and Red J looking for a strong and fast first stint. Dorian Stagg reserving in place for Websy tonight in P16 and finding some gravel there, going through turn 3. I'm trying to avoid doing that on the race start, my friend. AT in P15 there, qualified P10, but took a penalty there late on in qualifying for contact with his teammates to start from further down the order. JB in P14 and looking for his first point of the campaign as well for RB to join his teammate in the points paying positions. Obsessed Gamer starts P13. Of course, this was the last race he ran full time last season before his time away. Obviously back with us now and shining with the point score this season. Lucky Lambert lines up P12, reserving in for Alpine tonight. 10th Cannon P11, 20 points to the board for her. It's put her in 6th place in the championship, tied with Dan for this season so far. But can she get herself another points paying place? TJ starts inside of the top 10 now, promotes into the top 10 after that penalty for AT. HB Cook starts from P9. Things are all the same for him as the same for DJ. So he starts 8th for Aston Martin. Grumio starts from P7, qualified 2nd, but now has that penalty to think about. Can he come back from there? Cott reserving in P6. Fantastic performance from him. Curtis P5 with a good chance for some points for Red Bull to get him above into, at highest, around sort of 4th or 5th in the Constructors' Championship. Then it's Dan in 4th place. Was a worry during qualifying, but got himself the order in the end and starts in the 2nd row. Che in 3rd place. Pope in 2nd. The 2 Williams cars looks to try and beat Imri to turn 1. Imri looking for his 2nd win of this campaign and his 2nd win in 3 weeks. And with Grumio out of the picture, at least for the first few laps, Ben, I'd say he's got a fairly good shout. But our prediction needs to be made. So, Ben, who have you got down for the win tonight? Predictions before we forget.
Imri.
Imri. Okay, right. You've taken Imri. Okay, in that case, then I'm gonna go for an orthodox one. I'm gonna take Pope for this race tonight. So we'll see who comes out on top or who finishes higher of the two as the last few cars take their spots here. Rydog and Alvar taking their places on the back of the grid. This is gonna be a fantastic race, Ben. Hope you're excited for it as much as I am. As Alvar gets himself into position at the back of the grid. The lights about to come on here for the 4th race of the RDL season. Imri and Pope, your front row, former teammates, leading the charge to the first corner. Here come the lights. Under the lights here in Bahrain, waiting to get underway. Lights out, foot to the floor, and we are racing. Solid start from both the 2 front row starters. Going towards that first corner. Pope is looking here. Pope's got the lead on the inside, going towards that first turn. Into turn 1. Pope's got the inside line. Leads away. Contact with Imri and Che. Going into that first corner. Grumio trying to take advantage down there in P6. Up place already then. But contact between Che and Imri. Imri gets out in front. And Che will be maybe regretting sneaking his nose in there. As now Dan tries to challenge. See Curtis trying to go 3 wide. Yellow flag in the back. That is Courtney Goblin around. Close to contact. Close quarters here. Through turn 4 in the start. But Pope has had a dream start there. And he leads away from Imri and Che.
Yep, Grumio's moved up 2 places already. Gets past the Red Bull. So, advantage has certainly been cut for Imri.
Grumio fancying himself then in terms of making up places early on here. 10th Cannon fighting Lucky Lambert for P11. 10th wins out on this occasion. Going up towards turn 10 for the first time. Lucky Amos Cott going way wide there and almost going wide off the circuit through turn 10. And Obsessed Gamer doing just that on corner exit. The one car, the Silver Arrow, stuck out wide there. Down to P16. Rydog is up 7. Yes. He's up 6 places there into P14. So no, that's 5 places. My maths aren't working this first lap. But Rydog, fantastic start for him on the soft tyres. And Red J, same thing into P15 there. JB down spots. Courtney Goblin at the rear of the field, but Pope is leading them. But Imri is closing in though, Ben. We could see a lead change sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it could be, yeah, as I'm just looking further back down. HP Cook had a slight look on DJ there as well. It looks like 10th and Carter going wheel to wheel through the final corner.
Oh, can't white JB wide in the back. There was single file here. So into the first lap, Pope leads the way from Imri, Che, Dan and Grumio, your top 5. But DRS about to come into play, and it's all one big DRS train right now. Save for Courtney Goblin, 4 seconds back, recover the car, and try to work his way back to the field here. Lucky Lambert, DRS in play, the 2 Alpines close to contact. Cott is falling away in these first couple of laps, first lap and a half. AT's up 3 places as well, might try and challenge Lucky for a 4th. going into turn 4. Can he try it on corner exit? They're side by side. Imri recollects the lead back from Pope. Side by side into turn number 6 and through towards 7. Careful of that curb, as we said, Ben, but it's still Lucky holding out on the outside, and I'm losing my breath here as AT gets back in front.
Oh, this is a tongue twister of it all. Imri made a move around the outside of turn number 5, so that was a very unorthodox move from Imri. I won't lie, but he retakes the lead nonetheless.
But Pope keeping pace with them here to make the way into turn number 11. Keep an eye on those DRS zones, but I say for drivers like Imri who could overtake anywhere, it's just say, watch your mirror. Should you see one of those guys in the attack? Alpine front wing lost. Oh, well, damage got, sorry, and that is Cott. Lost an end plate.
I don't actually know how Cott lost that end plate. What if it was contact with Rydog?
Rydog has now made the pass on the Alpine, is up into P13. Things looking good here in this first stint for the Ferrari driver, who's had a bit of a rough start to life in the RDL so far in terms of results, but good to see him holding his own here in these first couple of laps to begin lap 3. DRS in play again as Pope makes the move going towards that first corner and gets back in front of Imri. Che keeping with these guys right now. I'm getting real flashbacks to that first race in Australia when it was these 5 guys all going at it in one big train for the first few spots until obviously they split up later in the Grand Prix. But Imri is right behind Pope. Grumio into P4 now. Has made the move on Dan for position number 4. Curtis holding back DJ, HB Cook, TJ in 10th. Your points paying places. AT, 1 place off the points now himself as they enter turn number 4. Red J in the pit lane here, so early stop for the McLaren driver.
Yeah, front wing change as well.
Hard tyres onto that race car for now. We'll see how he gets on with those later on over the course of this will be his second stint. We'll see how long the medium tyres last as well, because that'll get us a sense as to whether or not we see a 2-stop in this race. I just think we will, based on the prescribed strategies earlier on presented by AMS, as always, within the F1 game. Imri closing again on Pope, but not close enough this time. I think now not the short place to go for. You want to try and set yourself up for a move in the final corner. 3 DRS zones on this circuit, 1 going down towards that first corner, 1 going towards turn 4, and the one we just crossed there going through towards turn 10. HB Cook passing DJ. Let's just side by side, rather, going through turn 12. It's a nice place to go for it. HB Cook around the outside. Can he pull it off on corner exit? He can pull it off on corner exit. Move the Sauber driver up into the 7th spot. DJ down a place. 10th still in P10. TJ still in P9. And Imri may come back up at Pope again with DRS here going towards turn 1. Let's keep an eye out, Ben.
Absolutely. These first 4 laps where he walks by is inside the inside of turn 1. Gets him done before the breaking point.
Nice and easy there for Imri, but can Pope come back at him with DRS to respond down through turn 2 and through 3? Caught into the pit lane himself. I think that'll be repairing that wing damage, so he can't carry on too much without it. Tough break continues starting those hard tyres as Pope comes roaring back there. Is Imri, did he lift it all? I'm not sure if he did. It almost felt like he did.
Look at Cook though. Good
move regardless from Pope. It's getting us back into the lead once more. Che is still there in 3rd place holding strong. Grumio is in DRS range, but as it's still one big train right now, can't really get himself too involved. We need to go for something a bit more unorthodox to move up a place to try and challenge Imri and Pope again. Of course, those two are his closest competitors in the race for the Drivers' Championship as of right now. Obviously, as we've been saying, but it's still early days, so not too much to think about right now. But where Grumio, I'm sure, would like to establish a lead early on to avoid any sort of mishaps later on in the season, Pope and Imri are going to try and keep him from doing that as best they can as Imri closes in on Pope again. But the top 5 still keeping away, still breaking away from everyone else behind, and it's all single file from there.
Yeah, it is. Just thinking for the constructors, obviously Haas built quite a good advantage early on, but it looks like Williams are taking 1-3 at the moment. That's good points going their way, and with only one Haas driver in the points at the moment, pretty good.
That's a big gain there for Williams. You are right. I mean, it's currently 40 points going Williams' way compared to 12 for Haas, so 28-point swing there, which will put Williams, surprisingly, just 5 points back from the Constructors' Championship lead. So things looking good for those guys right now. But obviously, if Imri takes the place, and that will obviously be another big swing, as Imri goes back into the lead again into turn 1. Che, I thought, was trying to challenge on Pope for a second, but can't quite do it. DJ passing Curtis behind them. Of course, the fight for the other place in the Constructors behind also quite intense. Red Bull there looking for points. Cott gets the first penalty of the night. 3 seconds for track limits. So tough start to things for Cott after such good qualifying as Pope gets Imri back, but Che goes wide there. I think got a bit too close for comfort to the back of Imri's car, and Grumio gets around him. So Grumio into 3rd place now.
Good start from Grumio. He's already directly behind his nearest championship rival.
Things working out very smoothly indeed here for the championship leaders. They make their way towards turns 9 and 10 once again here. Courtney Goblin into the pit lane once more. Hard tyres going onto that race car. It's 2 stops here in these first couple of laps, and not a good start to proceedings then for one of the Ferraris. Rydog is currently 3.8 seconds back from Lucky Lambert, so currently the last car holding back JB, Alvar Obsessed, that train of cars. Divine Stag behind them as well. JB now passing by Alvar and Obsessed, going towards turn number 11, but Alvar comes fighting back. Going in towards that left-hander, and Alvar will win out. Can JB try and reply at all? Can't do it. Stays where he is for now. So let's go. Keep an eye on those guys. Should they catch back up later in the Grand Prix, if we get a safety car or anything like that. But for now, though, the race is all up front, as Imri will likely try and get past Pope again.
Yeah, likely so. Just a bit of a side note, Red J, Cart and Courtney Goblin have all pitted, changed the front wing, so on if the old slight front wing damage. That's a lot of good from JB. Just on a side note from JB, it looked like he went wide at turn 10, so may have got an illegal overtake on Alvar, and as a result had to let him back pass.
Perhaps there might be an interesting. No, it'd make complete sense, but based on how he acted going down towards
Red Bull's off.
11. Oh,
Here's this went wide at turn 3.
it looks like he's all recovered though, but he's lost a place to his teammate TJ. I suppose if you're going to lose a place like that, then I suppose the best person to lose it to is the driver who can also score points for your team in the constructors. As Rydog is being challenged by Alvar. Yellow flag in behind them. That is Lucky Lambert, who thinks he's all okay. So not quite sure what's going on there. But side by side between Rydog and Alvar. Rydog took a lot of that curb at turn 7, going very riskily against your advice, Ben. But as they go into turn number 8, it's still side by side on corner exit. But Alvar may well win out. One of them to get DRS here. So it'll be Alvar gets it, going towards the detection point on the entry. So Alvar gets to try and fight back on the outside, but Rydog is there back in front, can't keep him at bay, keeps him way onto the curbs a little bit there. Didn't leave him a ton of room on corner exit, but still looked to be within the space. As Obsessed now challenging Alvar instead, going towards challenging Rydog into turn 11. Can't do it, so Alvar may try to come back at him. JB's got a front row seat for this, but I'm sure he'd love to get involved himself. And, oh, contact! And M-Plate goes flying off there for JB, when flying off into the distance there, going towards the exit, the safe barriers at the outside of turns 12 and 13. But JB then damaged once again, and both M-Plates now off that car completely.
Oh dear, what a start. Is Imri retakes the lead, does he? Not Imri, sorry, Pope just tried the switch back through turn 1, couldn't quite pull it off. May have to run down to turn 4.
Yes, goes for it again. And Pope
look
makes
at Grumio.
Grumio going for it well. Grumio with a send there, and for a second I thought he was going to hit Pope, but didn't. Imri comes back at him, tries to go back at him, but can't. And Grumio with a very gutsy move there. Look, he did say, Ben, he has to be a bit more unorthodox in order to make things work, and he's doing just that now. And Imri out of shape there, caught fastest lap, but Grumio, as soon as he took second, is now moving up to try and challenge P1.
It started anyway, it does not phase him at all, does it?
Not at all. We'll see if he takes the lead, though, this time around, going down towards turn 11.
Just thought, watching the fight further back down between Alvar and Rydog, and wheel to wheel again. JB is all out of sync now with his front wing damage. We may see him into the pitch fairly soon to change that front wing.
Well, Obsessed has cleared all 4 of those cars, so, and is pulling away a little bit to try and close up to Lucky Lambert. As we see Divine Stagger, a bit of wobble in the background there. Not sure what that was all about, but he's kept the car moving. Hopefully he's avoided a warning of any kind for himself. Back up front, we'll see if Grumio can indeed make that pass this time. It's going to be interesting to see if he can do it at the first time of asking. I should think he can do it, given the sheer strength of the DRS here. Pope with a good exit. Grumio closing at a rate of knots, though, overtaking play. And for the first time today, after 8 laps of charging, after 7 laps of charging, Grumio into the lead on lap 8. But can Pope or Imri come back at him? Can Imri get himself involved again? That's the question.
Only time will tell. As just watching another fight for about between 10th and 80.
Rydog penalty.
Oh yeah. As Rydog pits again.
He's got a 10-second for speeding in the pit lane there. So another stop for Rydog. Whether he may have picked up damage that time, and not too sure. Didn't quite catch what happened there, but Pope back in front of Grumio. That's concerning for Rydog. After he was doing so well in the first part of the Grand Prix as well. So a tough break for him. We'll see if the Ferraris can recover at all with anything falling into their play later on. As Pope now back in front of Grumio. So clearly Grumio is not untouchable despite starting as far down as he did. We'll keep an eye out on these guys to head down towards turn 11 again. The top 5 still remain unbroken and keeping themselves with each other. DJ still leads the train behind. HB Cook still challenging him. Those guys, that little threesome is missing AT right now to make it the 4 we've normally seen. But DJ, HB Cook, TJ, and AT have been spent almost the entire season around each other. And Curtis, same thing, saying that. So these 5 have been really fighting for best of the rest so far this season.
Yeah, they're all very close to one another, both in the championship. Other than Lads Cook, who it's just not the best to start to the season, but it looks like Grimo may be in shape to repass and retake the lead.
Unless Imri can try and get to him first, because Imri's also equally closing in. Could we see a late move from either one of those cars going towards turn 1? No, Imri thinks better of it, but they're side by side between Pope and Grumio into turn 1. Imri with DRS on corner exit. Grumio with another car with DRS in front. So Imri might try and take advantage here. Pope the slipstream going towards turn 1, but Imri cannot find his way in. It's gridlock in front as Pope tries the outside on Grumio, but another car got DRS there, so I'm only guessing they must have been dead even going towards the detection point as Pope tries the inside at turn 6, can't do it. Grumio gets back in front. It's dicey times here up front, Ben. And as essentially a spectator, I'm all for it here.
Absolutely, same here. Don't forget Dan.
Dan's there as well, yeah. But I mean, Dan's there, but he hasn't been able to get himself too involved in this Grand Prix so far. He's just sort of been chased and waiting for a mistake. But obviously, we said that in Australia, and he then came through to still win the Grand Prix on track. He's still looking for his first win of the season. Obviously, they took big points off him. The 25 that got taken away at the end of the Stewards Port in the first race. But yeah, I mean, Dan hasn't really had that same pace since. Yellow flag turn 2 as JB's gone off. Recovers it, but he's on a fresh set of hard tyres. So a number of drivers have taken at least 2 stops so far. Oh, no, sorry, that's 1 stop. Sorry, JB's gone 1. Sorry, I'm getting myself mixed up.
Yeah, we're weird so far with strategy at the moment. We're starting to see a few of the medium tyres come into the pits already, so we are likely in for a 2-stop race, but who knows where the safety car could change things up.
I mean, if we get a 2-stop, we'll likely see pit stops in a matter of laps or so as Pope repasses Grumio, who may try to switch back at turn 1. But the tough thing about trying to switch back at turn 1 is that obviously you're looking at the outside of turn 2 as opposed to the inside. So you want to try and recover that and go for the alternate side. But it comes down to where your opponent attacks. Che tries the inside now, and Imri blocks up big time there. Imri switching back though, and that's the place to do it. Can he try and get past? No battery. Che takes full advantage into P3, the pole sitter, down another spot. As Curtis into the pit lane here. So first car in terms of routine stops, is Curtis.
One of the things we're struggling with something at the moment, it doesn't seem quite raring up to speed. Albeit it is part of the train. Is Imri starting to struggle on tyres maybe? Who knows?
Whether he's just gone through them a lot quicker than the other cars have, not too sure. But Cott's got a second penalty there for track limits. That I am sure of, so keep an eye on him. I think he's got 6 seconds to his name now, if I double check. Yes, he's got 6 seconds. And obviously, still 10 for Radog after speeding in the pits last time round. He needs to reserve that when he comes back in later on in the race. I should think he comes back in later on. If not, he'll get tacked onto his race time. The train looks to have spread out a little bit here. Obviously, they're still all within DRS range, but they don't seem as close as they were a lap or 2 ago. Grumio seems to be the one who could take it to Pope here, going into turn 1. We'll see whether Imri can try and come back at Che, or whether Dan can get his turn instead. So off the last corner, come down to what the moves are made here. As Grumio looks around for a second there, trying to find clean air. DRS in play again. Imri pits, yes. Change made there. Grumio into the lead again. But there he is, though. Imri, Ben, first about the bullet, and come into the pit lane for that first stop of the evening. What tyre does he go on to?
Yeah.
It was hard tyres. Right. So with
don't think they'll get to the end.
You answered the question before I even asked it, Ben. Fair enough. Yeah, that'll do nicely. But I mean, yes, I think we're probably looking at 2-stop. We'll probably see Imri push the daylights out of these tyres. He locks him up going into turn 1 as he comes face to face with one Mr. TJ at corner exit. He gets in front. TJ might come back at him, but with DRS to his play, Imri looks to be in front for now. And we'll see here if he can get his skates on. As we saw back in China 2 weeks ago, we saw Imri really push it during this phase of the Grand Prix when we were looking at pit stops. And from there, obviously Grumio chased him down a lot at the end of the Grand Prix, but he built an advantage that Grumio couldn't then catch. So we'll see if he does the same sort of thing here, pitting early, trying to take advantage of that. It's going to be interesting. But we'll see. It may come down to whether or not Grumio, Pope, Che or Dan pit into traffic. And I doubt we'll see a lot of that over the course of the Grand Prix, given that the second half of the grid are all quite spread out right now.
Yeah, and I don't think they will, providing the fact that they're all in the DRS train, and with Imri being 3 seconds behind, 2.7 seconds behind as Grimro pits, and Pope takes the lead away.
And Che joins him too, so both Dan and Pope stay out. And we'll see here when Imri comes back out. He's going through towards turn 14 now. So I think he might actually be getting he might potentially getting a fair bit, but Grumio is leaving his pit box already. Where is Grumio going to emerge? There he is. Imri is there at the main straight going towards the DRS line now, with Grumio's hitting pit exit. So I think Grumio's going to win out.
Not got the undercut.
And Imri may get a spot back off Che, but not off Grumio. It's going to be close here going towards that first corner. And Imri locks up. They might allow Che back in front. There's side-by-side contact between the pair of them. Lucky to avoid that wing damage for either car. Imri forces his way past Che there. And whether the stewards have a look, not too sure. But TJ trying to challenge Che into turn 4. But Imri gets in front, but has lost out by a fair few seconds to Grumio there. So tough break, but Grumio now quite a way in front. It'll come down to where Pope and Dan emerge.
Yeah, as your relation into his trying to convince players, trying to think it's completely different, like almost circuit in a way, is a lot of long corners around China. You're looking at turn 1, 2, you got a couple of hairpins here and there, which of course we do have while here in Bahrain, but do to play it all medium speed, high speed. Obviously you got turn 1 and 2, 4 really being the only low speed corners. Maybe turn 8 as well.
In come Pope and Dan here. The last of those few cars in the top 10, in the top 5 to stop. Grumio is still about 3 seconds clear of Imri. Che himself is about a second behind Imri now, so almost losing DRS completely. But many season batteries gives it back into it. It's going to be close there between those two. I think Che's just got DRS back, but Imri will get it off of... No, it won't get it off Valvar. Yellow flag in the second sector. That's one of the Ferraris around. It's Rydog.
Ferrari. I know.
But he's recovered it. Grumio gets back out in front of Pope. Imri back out in front of Pope as well. Oh, locking up there close to running into each other again. Imri in front then, and leads that train, but still finds himself back 3 seconds back from Grumio. So work needs to be done now to avoid the reigning champion from running away with it. And it was Ryder who went around. It's gone wide there at turn number 15, nearing the gravel as he lets JB go. And we'll see him into pit lane again, and this also helping to serve that 10-second penalty. Let's not forget, Ben. So he's got to serve that. Oh, he's out. Right, there you go then.
Yeah. He's spun at a bit of a strange location. You don't normally spin there, to be fair. And this is called the inside curve on the way into turn 13, maybe.
No, I mean, he caught it. He caught it where Grumio is now, turn 11, and speaking from experience, I can tell you that it's very easy to spin out there, no matter what car you're in. I've done it on a range of different racing games. Let's put it that way for spinning around Bahrain. But we're focused on the race at hand. Alvar is yet to pit. He's still on those hard tyres, and so he's serving as a bottleneck right now to the top guys here up front. TJ has been on his medium tyres for 4 laps. He's made his stop, and he's now up there with the leaders. So TJ, I think definitely going for the 2-stop, but has to keep his sleeve to try and get himself involved. As Imri passes Alvar, but Pope might try and challenge it all the way to the wall here. Going down towards turn 1. Pope gets him in front of Imri. No challenge on the outside, so Imri can move back up front. But blocks up again, and Pope into turn 1 takes P2 away. But all this fighting allowing Grumio to get another second here. He's almost 4 seconds in front now. As they go at it again. Che towards turn 4.
Imri's under pressure here.
Big pressure. Close to
Has he made the mistake?
I wonder if
Yes, he has. Che up to 3rd.
They saw him tap another time here, and these two, I think a bit too close for comfort, if I'm being completely truthful with myself here. As behind him, Alvar looks to try and stay with the pack. Dan has got TJ on his tail. HB Cook is there, 3.8 behind on a hard tyre. Almost everyone is pitted at this stage of the Grand Prix now, I think, save for, have a look. I'll say for Alvar, everyone is pitted. So just waiting out on Alvar. He'll probably go as long as he can on those hard tyres. Could he go for a set of softs to the end? I doubt it. It'll likely be mediums.
Yeah, it'll be. I wonder if I was going to try a 1-stop.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, if he tries the alternate strategy. JB penalty there. JB's had a tough night so far down there in P18. And with a penalty, he's just picked up the boot there. Tough stuff for a number of cars in the order here. Grumio 4.2 in front now. He's gaining time on the cars behind him. And Pope is also equally pulling away from his teammate Che. Imri looking to try and break the train between him and Dan, who's still at DRS, but only just. Imri, he sends it to turn one. Che gives him the room, opens things up a little bit. Imri, can he try and come back at Che? He's going a bit out of shape there as they leave turn 3. DRS of both cars as Che rockets up towards his teammate, and Imri can't challenge. Che is going for those late sends. Imri has been sent on several times going to turn 4, but hasn't made a send himself. He's been unable to do it. Whether things just aren't kind to him so far in that Sauber, it'll be interesting to see later if he can try and recover it.
It will be, yeah. I wonder if he was trying to slow his way down on those hard compound tyres. Wonder if he may try a one-stop as well. It's a bit ambitious if you try a one-stop on tyre where it's very high around here, particularly on the its rear left that suffers. But both rears suffer around here normally.
Definitely, this place is notorious for eating up the rear tyres, as I've heard many times thanks to pre-race expositions in Carimo. But yeah, it's a fact that could not be more true. And obviously, I mean, the change they made in terms of tyre wear for F125, this was not a circuit that was impacted, because this was always a two-stop on last year's game as well. At least for standard drivers like you or me, or perhaps not so much the league drivers, but I think for casual players, you're looking at a two-stop either way. Grumio now 4.5 in front. We're halfway through this Grand Prix. We're on lap 16 now, and it's flown by, if being completely honest with ourselves. Che is closing big time on Pope. There'll be a change here between the two Williams teammates going towards that first corner. Both of them in the top 5 in the Drivers' Championship. As it stands right now, they're gaining, that is 33 points on Haas, who have got 26 points. So it's a 7-point swing for Haas, which will bring them into being 26 points behind Haas in the Constructors' Championship. So it's working good for them right now, but they need that spot with a win to help their case. As Cott pits once again, and he's in here for a set of medium tyres.
Those mediums should be fine till the end.
Should think so, yeah. The question now, though, will be, is there going to be anything that perhaps stops Grumio from running off into the sunset, victory in hand? Will we see a late safety car, something that could shake things up in this Grand Prix? We saw it in Australia when it looked like Grumio had the race won. Not to be today. Perhaps you have to wait and see.
Yeah, thinking about Silverstone last season as well. I think it was a completely different race at Silverstone. Season finale, season 19. Obviously went a bit where everyone were on inters and dries, and then all of a sudden inters became the better tyre in the last 3 laps of the race.
Sorry, I missed. Was this the reverse grid finale? Sorry, you said.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Obviously. Yeah. Right. So my head went for a second there. Yeah. So just trying to process all the stuff going on the circuit right now. The DRS close for Imri. But yeah. No. Yeah. We saw a late change there in that Grand Prix at Silverstone. It was highly entertaining, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Indeed, it was. As just watching his battery management again was down to 1% on the pit straight.
He's gone full blast in an attempt to try and get close to these Williams cars as Che again back in front of Pope. And these two just causing a grid block for Imri right now as he wants to get around him and try and challenge Grumio, who himself is now 5 seconds up the road from P2. DJ and HP Cooking going at it, but DJ wide there out of turn 4 and penalty in play for the Aston Martin driver. That won't help his case at all, given he's got a number of cars. Well, he had a number of cars in behind him in that 3-second gap. That could knock him out of the points, perhaps. Could potentially put 10th or Curtis in.
Yeah, definitely good, 100%.
One to keep an eye out for towards the end of the Grand Prix. We'll see what that gap looks like for DJ. He's going to need to get his foot down now, but Alvaro's in front of him, so he's getting DRS off that McLaren right now. Still on those hard tyres, so going as long as he can, but I think struggling a little bit now. We'll see him pit later on. We are putting in the window now where we're seeing drivers taking the medium tyres to. At least the guys up front, we were seeing him take it that far. So we'll see if Alvar can take it to the end on a set of mediums. I should think he will at this point. Give it another lap or two more at best, I think, on these tyres, and he should probably put him in.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same here.
Well, predictions are looking a bit unorthodox. Again, right now, I don't want to speak too soon, but they're looking in my favour. You said Imri for the win, didn't you?
Yes, I believe. Did you say Pope?
I said Pope because I didn't want to say Grumio, who cause I felt like it was too obvious a choice. But so I've gone for Pope, and he's in front of Imri right now. So I'm backing Pope to help me go 2-0 in this this little square off of ours over the course of the season, which we're trying to remember as best we can in terms of scores. But Imri's right behind Pope, so it's looking like it could go either way. It's on a knife edge right now. As Dan keeps pace with those guys behind, and could try and get himself involved as well. DJ and HP Cook side by side. TJ's pitted. TJ also set hard tyres, so going for that 2-stop then, as we said. We said there's no way he's going to take those medium tyres to the end of the Grand Prix. So hard tyres in play from now. Do you think would even better off perhaps going for the hard tyres first and then the mediums in the last 10? What do you reckon then?
I don't know. You kind of want to leave the hard tyres for as late as possible. You don't want you definitely don't want to start on the hard compound tyres because you just lose so much in the first few laps. Albeit with the formation lap, which does help, his Colt picks up his 3rd penalty, I do believe. Yeah, so ideally you want the hard tyres to be run either in the final stint or the 2nd stint.
Speaking of hard tyres, I thought I just saw Alvar sort of wiggling around there, trying to find some life in his tyres. I think maybe he's starting to struggle now because he's been passed by. He's losing pace to the cars behind. The 10th cannon on the inside there at turn 14. Very aggressive going for it and wanting that place as Alvar doesn't pit yet. Oh, no, scrap that. In he comes, yes. Sorry, I stand corrected. Oh, no! 10 seconds, speeding the pit lane. Yellow flag, sector 2, it's all clear. For Alvar, second driver's not to pit with that. Tough break for him. Medium tyres are on, but that may well do him his chance of scoring points. You need to close that time back in and gain 10 seconds to 10th place, which is Curtis Shepherd right now. And 10th to P9 as well. So both those two cars now in the points and trying to chase down AT, DJ, HB Cook for what will be P6 on the road.
Yeah, it's a lot to ask for from Alvar. I dare I say it, I think he should have pitted one lap earlier.
Perhaps, yeah. Well, I think truthfully, he probably should have slowed down a bit for entering the pit lane. But hey ho, with just over 10 laps to go. Sorry, Alva, that felt a bit rude. Just over 10 laps to go. Grumio 6.4 in front now, so still gaining time, still doing spectacularly. Not as fast as he was himself, but still faster than the cars behind him. And that's what's doing them in right now. Che and Pope still holding strong in 2nd and 3rd. Pope was doing well for my prediction. Imri in P4, Dan in P5. Yep, it's looking good for the minute for those guys in the top 4, but still top 5. But sorry, can't chase down Grumio yet. Courtney Goblin in the pit lane, I think about to go a lap down here. Yellow flag again. That's JB. It looks like it's either JB or Divine Stag, but both of them look fine. So not entirely sure. We'll keep an eye on both those two cars as Pope passing Che again here within the final 10 laps now. HP Cook's got a big train behind him. Keep an eye on DJ, who obviously has the penalty to think about, but maybe wants to go for it in terms of fighting for a place.
Yeah, if I do remember myself, may not have been in this league actually, it may have been on F124. I think I was in a bit of a train myself, and I ended up doing a 1-stop, and the driver that was challenging me for 3rd ended up receiving a 3-second penalty. So and I was in the kicks out for that day.
I mean, we've seen it from certain drivers in the past. I think back to, I believe it was season 18 in Austria when Landlord and Grumio showing the way for RB. Landlord took a late penalty for 3 seconds, and in the final 3 laps, Landlord broke away from the train completely while Grumio sort of served as a bottleneck to everyone else. And Landlord, unbelievably, managed to pull out that 3-second gap in 3 laps and took the win by a matter of hundredths, if memory serves. So it can be done, but you're getting
not overdo it, Silver.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I thought the race was over for Landlord that day, but he managed to come back and win the race, so clearly not. I mean, obviously, it takes 3 penalties of Grumio's to stop him now at this stage, unless we have some sort of late sort of intervention from any driver who dares to make a mistake and perhaps throw the race into chaos this late on. 9 laps to go. Pope makes it onto lap 21. He's got Cockney Goblin in front of him as Che gets the pass once again. Imri is still in the DRS range, but just can't keep up. Dan, same thing. He's been sort of stagnant all night since being passed for position by Grumio. Imri has obviously been trying to chase these two down, but with little to no avail, being on tyres that are fresh by 1 or 2 laps compared to both of them. Blue flags here as Cockney Goblin lets those guys go, and that gets himself all clear again. DJ passing AT. HB Cook pulling away a little bit here from both cars, and 10th Cannon tries to get involved too. AT to the outside, going to turn 4. Goes around the outside, making the pass work potentially on corner exit. It's close between them. They're still side by side again. Going into turn number 6 and now 7. It's AT in front. 10th Cannon right behind and may go for a move into turn 8, but thinks better of it. Stays in line. Curtis still P10. It's in 10 seconds back to Lucky Lambert, who's the first car outside of the points. So the points paying cars, short of any crash or anything, look to be set in stone, Ben, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know, obviously. 1.2 is the gap between now HP Cook and AT. Then you got a bit of a train forming on behind. But, and then it's just really looking like we're all his own.
No man's land for the Alpine Jet Reserve right now. TJ 4 seconds back. Obsessed is just in DRS range of him. Alvaro's also be about 5 seconds behind Obsessed. TJ obviously on those fresher hard tyres, trying to go as close as he can. But he's almost 14 seconds back from the points here, so it's going to take a lot as Pope gets passed again by Chains turn 1. We're on lap 22 of this Grand Prix now. Imri, again, still trade goes in, but can't do it for the minute.
Imri needs to try something unorthodox. He needs to do what Grumio did and go for an absolute diabolical send into turn 4.
The thing is, though, I mean, me myself, just from watching Imri in general, I'm not sure if a send would be the wisest move for him in particular right now. I'm not sure I never thought that the send has never really been Imri's sort of forte. Let's put it that way. It's not been his speciality. It's more been just sort of pace in that sense. But right now, things seems like those seem to be clicking for quite as they were in qualifying, and obviously, despite Grumio taking that 5th place penalty, putting him back in P7, it's not faced him at all here. He finds himself 7 seconds in front instead of 2nd place. So Grumio clearly not being stopped by anything here in this part of the race.
Yeah. Okay, really. Just watching top 5 for Cheltenham Mitch warnings. There's one for Pope, one for Che, one for Imri, and one for Dan. And Grumio's also on 1.
So 1 each for all of the top 5. Everyone's had their moment so far tonight, and we'll see if anyone has any more, which could check things up for the race for the podium. Grumio, they're going towards turn 1 as Pope crossed the line to lead him back around again. HP Cook's pulled away here. He's almost 2 seconds in front of AT. 10th Cannon's now in 8th place. She's managed to pass DJ. And can she now focus on making a move on AT for that 7th spot? DJ with a penalty will still get a point in the end, I think, regardless as of right now, even if Curtis makes the pass, which he should do. Good exit and good run for Curtis, moving up into the 9th place spot. Yellow flag, turn 4, that's JB allowing Grumio by. Blue flags in play there. So I should imagine it'll be a few laps or so before Che, Pope, Imri and Dan come face to face with JB on the track. But JB, as I say, tough evening. Onto another set of medium tyres, so it's taking the 2-stop in this race. One of only 6 drivers who have done so, but all of those 6, save for TJ, have had some sort of complication over the course of the race tonight.
Yeah, the one I'm looking at the moment is DJ, who's on 11 Apple medium tyres. Can they go to the end?
I mean, in terms of comfortably, I doubt it. As Cock gets his 4th penalty of the evening, that put him down to. Well, actually, he'll actually keep P15 for years right now. But yeah, I mean, he'll have done a good 17 or so laps on those things when we reach the flag. 16, 17 laps. So it'll be tight. Oh, yellow flag. Alpine has, one of the Alpines has gone. That is...
Caught.
It is caught, yes. He's gone off the circuit. Has he got a puncture? No, he seems okay. I'm not entirely sure what that was about.
It's gone for a spin.
Whether he may have lost it at turn 7 and someone may have done it like you said, Ben, at last. Perhaps it's that.
Yeah, it looks like the 2nd, 3rd and 4th and 5th battle will be heating up ever so slightly.
Che and Pope have been going back and forth. Imri waiting to get involved. DJ pitting now. I think he may have heard Ben. I think he may have heard us potentially. Perhaps we shouldn't have said anything. Regardless of that he's on soft tyres. That'll be a charge to keep an eye on in the late stage of this Grand Prix. But all the same, Lucky Lambert is now in the points paying places. Yellow flag again. That's caught around a 2nd time. Recovers it. I think he may have reset the track there. And there goes Divine Stag making the pass. So the Aston Martins now both out the points. The only one who can score points is on the soft tyres. But now let's try and fight back for the points paying place if we can catch up to Lucky that'd be fair dues for him in the final 6 laps of this Grand Prix. But Cott then spinning for a second time, and the tyre's probably quite hot. I'm thinking that might be what's causing it in that sense. But we are nearing the last 5 laps here as Grumio heads towards turn 14. He's got JB right there behind him, so JB sort of following along with Grumio on those medium tyres. So 5 laps left for Grumio, who's commanded this race since taking the lead at the midway stage, thanks to those pit stops.
Start Grumio, different postcode is probably the only way he's not going to win a race.
No, that seems fair.
He will always still find a way. Someone's trying to get
Caught again.
It's his cop.
Struggling here in that first and that third sector. What is going on with that machine?
What's wrong with that, LP?
He's really struggling to keep the tyres under control. I mean, he's been on those tyres for 8 laps. Realistically, he shouldn't be struggling on those as much as he is. I mean, the medium tyres will probably go for another sort of 9 or another sort of 2 or 3 laps at most, I should think, realistically, before they start to really fall down. But at least in the way they are for Cott right now. But there is Grumio emerging in the background as JB goes for a bit of a slide himself, leaving turn number 10. And behind them, Che has pulled away a little bit. He's almost a second clear of Pope. Imri still trying to get involved. Yellow flag again for Cott. It's falling away for Cott after, obviously, he qualified up in the top 10. He started P6 in this race. Qualified 7th, but it's down to P17. P18 now as JB makes the pass.
I wonder if Cott's actually got some sort of damage. We can't actually see. Maybe like sideboard damage.
Is it floor damage perhaps?
Or see as soon as maybe as soon as you spin, that's it. The tyres are gone.
He's got puncture.
Puncture.
There we go. That explains it. Oh, around he goes. And there it is. I mean,
that was a bit dramatic.
And after only 8 laps, there's a fair bit of damage done to those tyres in that case then. But on the bright side, he won't intervene with the cars in front of him too much. You have to bring it back into the pits.
Yeah, this is a bit late.
If you can get him from there, fair enough. Have to see. I shouldn't think this will bring out a safety car.
No, it's not.
No, it's I think it's too late in the race for that. At least one for everyone. He's got it moving again. Look at that car up on 3 wheels, almost up on 2. It's the front. Both front tires are sort of like.
Both front tires are both up in the air. Look at the front right.
It's like you ever seen a film called Herbie?
No, I'm not.
Oh yeah, you have to search up after the race. Search up Herbie Wheelie, and that'll be sort of what Cott's doing right now. Anyway, we'll stop making fun of Cott because it's probably should be doing that, and we'll carry on with Grumio, who, as you said, Ben, another postcode. That was what we were talking about before that happened.
Yes.
Che and Pope still trading places. Imri just can't get involved. Same with Dan. These two have been stagnant in 4th and 5th the entire second half of this race. HB Cook is still there, 12 seconds back, holding off 10th Cannon now. ATP8, Curtis P9, and TJ's now back in the points. Thanks to the, he's managed to make the pass unlucky. DJ is closing in on both Obsessed and Alvar here, so he's making gains. Can he get back to the points here? There's only be 3.5 laps to go for him in a matter of moments here, but can he get back to it? It's going to be quite tight, but I shouldn't think they get any further than P10. As Grumio fastest up again. Where did he play? He's on 15-lap-old hards for crying out loud. He's on 130.6. We'll see if DJ can top that on the soft tyre. And that gives us a sense as to how quick Grumio is.
Just how does he manage to pull these lap times out of the bag on 15-lap-old tyres?
I've got a better question. How does he still get bored by coming P1 almost every race?
I don't know.
It's been a
mystery.
Maybe
a question to ask Grumio if he joins the interview.
Yeah, fair point. We'll have to ask him if he should he join us. Che and Pope again. Yellow flag down at turns 1 and turn. It's down at turn 1 there. I think that is the Red Bull of TJ. No, sorry, Curtis has gone around. Curtis has fallen away down to P9. I'm not quite sure because wasn't he in P9 before?
I don't know. Bit of a train there in turn 4. Just trying to figure out who it were.
It might still be the same train. HBAT. Kurt 10th in there as well. Could 10th translate P6 perhaps? That could be an interesting fight towards the end of the Grand Prix. See if she's got it in.
80's really struggling on tyres. Sorry to interrupt there, but 80's proper struggling on tyres now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fair enough. He's been on them for 14 laps. Curtis, by comparison, has been on them for 17 behind, so he's done the most on the hard tyres. He was the first car in, let's not forget. Yeah, he's still holding strong in P9. There's still a good 12 seconds in front of TJ in P10, so we'll still score points. unless he too gets a puncture like Cot did. But Cot now on the soft tyre. DJ is now closing on Alvar in P12. And from there, it's about 4 seconds or 5 seconds to TJ in front. So there is TJ going into turn 11 now. And DJ's right behind the Aston Martin. But he's only got 2 laps to make it. So I shouldn't think he'll make it from here. It'll be close. But Grumio's less than 2 laps from victory now. And Pope and Che will need to decide who's going to finish second and who's going to finish third here. Because that's getting close. But as it stands right now, Grumio will be sitting with a 30-point lead in the championship if things stay as they are. If Pope is still in second place. The 2 champions top in the standings. 2 former champions, rather. As Che goes for it again to turn 4. Che on 24 points. He will not... He may actually jump... he's going to jump AT by a point, I believe. He's 11 points clear. So that'll do him nicely. That'll put him up to, I believe, will be 4th place in the championship. So the order should go Grumio, Pope, Imri, Che in terms of the driver standings right now. But that's the thing. Things stay as they are. As Cot gets fastest lap there, and after that puncture, that will definitely feel a bit satisfying, albeit all for naught at the end of the day. But tough break for Alpine, who obviously they couldn't score any points today anyway. Both cars were reserves, but Cot's reserve appearance hasn't gone to plan for him here tonight. Yeah. I shouldn't think, given how good qualifying was.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be a bit upsetting for Grumio. He wouldn't like that at all. See if Grumio goes through on the final lap.
Let's see if he can try and get it back then. I mean, it would be very Grumio-esque to do as he rounds turns 14 and 15, start the 29th and final lap. And obviously, we were thinking, Ben, me and you, at the start of the Grand Prix, that Grumio would be in a bit more trouble than he has been. As Dan makes the pass on Imri, let's go side by side. Dan losing it a little bit there and falling away on corner exit. And Dan might try and get involved now. And the race could be on the last lap racing for that second spot. As Che goes for the outside on Pope, makes the pass. Locks up. He's going to try it. Still there a little bit. We'll get DRS back.
I like to think if you're Williams, you'd just like to just sit in this position, but no, apparently not.
Imri wants to be involved, but can't. He's got no battery to fight with as well. That's the other thing. But Grumio up front and was 10 seconds clear after taking that penalty. 5 places, down to P7 on the start. He's meticulously calculated a fight back in this field. Up those 6 spots, and now quite a way in front. Is Imri trying to send there, but can't do it. I think changed direction a bit too late and locked up a little bit. And it looks as though he's going to settle for a place off the podium. Frustrating for Imri, given how good he looked in qualifying today. But only 12 points going his way right now. At most 18 if he can get around both Williams cars in these last few moments. But Grumio going up towards turn number 12. DJ into P11, still 5 seconds off of TJ, so won't score points in the end unless there's a late penalty in play or a late spin. But Grumio here, last couple of corners, he's just 2 corners from home now. And again, in moments where we briefly doubted him and Haas, they have pulled it out of the bag once again and will round turns 14 and 15 to take 3 wins from 4. It's not the perfect start it was last season, but it's a great start nonetheless to the championship. And your reigning champion, Grumio, runs to the line once more and takes victory here in Bahrain. Che in the final corner. Can Pope try and get on the line? It'll be close to see if he can do it. Looking for that second spot. Che comes through for P2 in the end. Pope will take away third. Imri in 4th. He's going for it. On the outside, it's close, but 100th separating them. And Dan almost got Imri at the end there. HP Cook P6 and will get his first point to the campaign. 8 points for HP Cook. In front of 18 narrowly. 10th Cannon, 8th point score for her. Curtis P9 and TJ will take P10. Ben, give me your thoughts on that race, mate. Because I am dying.
Pretty good race, yeah. Obviously, we saw the 2 Williams fighting away. Not fighting, but when we're strategically holding up the Kickstarter and Dan. Alvar looks like he may drop a couple of positions here and there due to his 10-second. And indeed, he does only drop the 1. It's not too bad, to be fair. Just looking for that down. HP Cup with a fantastic result. Really what I needed for this part of the season. What he's been through at the moment. 18, 7th, 10th and 8th. Good points again. And then the 2 Red Bulls lining up and finishing off the top 10.
Lucky Lambert P11 in the end. DJ P12 for that chart. That fight back was close. Alvar P13 then. Obsessed in P14. Divine Stag and Reg across the line P15 and P16. Oh, scrap that, sorry. Obsessed has been dropped to place for some reason. Reg J, no, okay. The results are looking weird there. I'm not quite sure those are quite accurate at the end. I think there's some places changed, but your order there. It was a very, very enjoyable race. Grumio came charging back through the order and did what was asked of him and takes the win once again here under the lights in the desert. And it's Che second, Pope third. So 10 points gained, 33 points to gap then in the Drivers' Championship, separating Grumio from Pope, and as the 10-time champion and Season 11 champion will continue to duel on in the Drivers' standings, but Grumio then with a big advantage to kick things off after the first 4 races of the season. Saudi Arabia next week, there'll be a 100% race there, and it should be very exciting all the same. Celebrations to have a look, continue on there. We'll have a look at the rest of your results then outside of the top 10. Lucky Lamb at P11, DJ P12, Alvar and Divine Stag both got Divine Stag and Red Jay both got places gained there. JB, Cotley Goblin Obsessed, who finished higher up, Cot P19, and Rydog failed to finish. Yeah, it's an exciting Grand Prix, I think, for everyone there, to say the very least. And, yeah, I mean, Bahrain continues to serve excitement for us. But we'll move into post-race interviews in a matter of moments here after the, I think as things sort of start to wind down from that race as a whole. And we will see if anyone does get to join us after the all the fun out on track. And but I'm obviously asking Jeremy, do you not get bored of this? Okay, yeah, he's winning so much that we've gotten tired of him winning here in the RDL. So if anyone would like to come along and try and challenge Grumio, then by all means. Ben, he's done it again. Grumio continues to win. He's just too good at this point.
Let's get Yardo up here.
That'd be a race. That'd be a race and a half. We'll see if anyone's got Yano's contact number, by all means, drop it in the chat, and we'll see if we can get Yano to agree to a one-on-one. See if Grumio can truly be stopped by any force on this planet or any other. Okay, that's pretty put a bit of a start on it, but we'll continue on as we are, and we'll look into post interviews. Hopefully, we'll get somebody in to have a brief chat with us after the enjoyment of that Grand Prix, and we'll get those opened up shortly, hopefully. But things all run smoothly, which is good compared to last week's race in Japan. So we're looking all okay on that front. No concern there. I knew it'd be one off, so the concern is gone. And I will message to say the post interviews are now open. Just waiting around now. Obviously, we'll give it a few minutes, then we'll see from there if anyone does join us. My throat's dying. We have got Pope in. Pope, in the end, comes home in 3rd place for Williams. Pope, welcome into the stream. Grumio in another world today, so I know it's to be called. But I mean, you and Shay had things pretty under control there in the second half of the race for Williams.
Yeah, it was just one of those just bring it on home races. I was pretty happy to see Grumio get the 5th place grid penalty, even though it means nothing, truthfully. Still finish where I would have finished anyway, but it did allow for my setup to work more so. Then obviously qualifying pace wasn't there, but that was for a reason. And yeah, I think it's P3. Can't complain.
P3, so another podium finish for you, but Grumio now 33 points clear in the Drivers' Championship. As you are in 2nd place, it is your obligation to at least try and give us a title fight. So is there any chance of that as early on in the season?
Say that last bit again, sorry.
Oh, can we try and get you in the title fight, perhaps, with a
no
push? Oh, okay.
No, title's wrapped up, mate. Like
you're killing me, man. Come on.
Unfortunately, I don't think so. I think this is going to be... we'll see. I'll give you a bit of false hope and say, oh, yeah, I am. But 33 points is a huge gap. And obviously, like I always say, these next few races do tend to play into my favour. I just don't think I'm going to be able to climb 33 points ahead of Grumio.
Well, we are going to one of the tracks.
They expected in Formula 1.
Say that again, sorry. I'm roasted.
You only expected in Formula 1.
Well, yeah, I'd like to say the same, but it is just so tough. It is so quick, and when you have a race like today where it is so close and he's not the quickest in qualifying, he's put back 5 places and he still wins. So, yeah, it does feel like a very much of an uphill battle.
We said that, but I mean, we are going to track next week that you obviously won out last season after taking on Grumio after a slightly poor Q3 in the end by your standards. So, I mean, I'd say there'll be no giving up next week, and it'll be a full-length Grand Prix, so it'll be a bit more entertaining. Are we up for the challenge of a full race around Jeddah?
I think more so. I feel like, obviously, last season I had some spooky pace, some mystic stick was going on there. So let's hope for the same again. I love that track. I think it's a driver's track. So it's good fun. We'll see if I'm able to keep pace and hopefully bag another P3 at minimum would be nice.
Podium's the aim from here then, yeah?
Yeah, that's the aim.
Fair enough. Right, we'll see if we can pull that off next week. We'll come now to 10th Cannon, who comes home with another point-scoring finish. P8 today for V-Carb. 10th, solid job on the points today. Was there anything more you thought you could have got out of it, or is that the highest you could go?
I mean, I think if anyone was watching the timing sheets, I probably could have done better if I'd maybe defended from 80 a little more. But I'm not mad about it. I'm really happy with how it went today. I know it's only 8 points from a P11, and the 2 of the drivers that I passed were reserves anyway. But I'm just happy with how that went. That was a good race.
Enjoyable race, I'd say. Yeah, I mean, the start of the season in comparison to previous starts for you has been your best start, I think, ever in terms of this league. So is that something you feel like can carry on?
I hope so. I don't expect anything to change. I mean, unless I suddenly lose my legs or something on my wheel brakes, I don't think anything's going to change. No, I'm feeling good, man. It's kind of a bummer to only get 4 points out of it, but I mean, it's better than no points, which is what I was getting through the back half of last season, sorry. So, can't complain.
If we have a look at sort of the next run of races, so we're looking at Saudi Arabia next week, obviously, then Miami, Imola, Monaco. Is there a certain track there you can sort of pinpoint and say that'll be my best race?
Everyone except Miami. I hate Miami, but I love Jeddah, so I'm going to be looking forward to that one. Monaco, I'm interested to see how that's going to go. I feel like it's just going to be more of the same of previous seasons, except with like only half the laps. And Imola I'm going to like, I think. I've always liked Imola, but I don't think that's going to be a particularly overtakey track. So I don't know, man. We'll see.
I have to see, and of course, I was speaking to HB Cook in a moment in terms of the obviously finished quite close to you at the end. Any sort of fighting always going to next week against HB Cook? Because I mean, you guys have been quite close this season.
I don't want to antagonize him. That'll only inspire him to drive me off the road. No, I have nothing to say. It's just nice to be this far up the grid again. I don't know if I can keep this up. I hope I can. I was kind of bummed out by the lack of a Q3 appearance this race, but I mean, I'm feeling faster.
Yeah, that always helps.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. Well,
just good luck, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, my try to stir up headlines in the weekly roundup has failed horribly there. So we'll come now to HB Cook. Then well done on the points, 10th. HB Cook comes home P6, and yeah, HB Cook first points of the season, mate. Congratulations. Is it good to get that monkey off you back now?
Yeah, I think it's been a while coming. And obviously it's 2 or 3. I can't remember how many races I've done. The bad luck or the minor incidents or the minor bad or whatever you want to call it happens. But pace was good. We'll take the points, and obviously it's a good job in P4 as well.
So a 20-point score for a kick sab, which keeps you guys up in 3rd place in the constructors by a fair distance. So you have to be pleased with that.
Yeah, we always said that top 3 was the aim. Like, we obviously want to win it, but when you look at Grumio and how he pretty much has a jet engine in the back of his car and he can pretty much just start off from the rest of us, it's not really what you look at. You've got to look at the best of the rest. Williams, obviously Chain Pope, last partnership. So we looked at ourselves after Japan. We were like, right, ambition's got to change. How do we look at this? So we looked at top 3 and we're like, right, if we get this from the stat we've had, obviously we both as DNF in Australia, it's a good recovery and we'll 100% take it.
Do you guys see yourself being able to try and perhaps